Am I the asshole for telling my coworker that her husband's insecurities are not my concerns? Roughly a week ago, I, 37-year-old male, was sent on a 3-day business trip with my coworker, Ashley, female 35, across the country. Ashley and I are really good friends and work very closely. Also, since it was our area of expertise, it made the most sense for the company to send us. Ashley's husband, Justin, 39-year-old male, also works for the company. Long story short, Justin doesn't like me at all. Personally, I think he's a bit prejudiced and insecure, as he didn't mind me at all while our company was working virtually during COVID, but once he met me in person, his opinion changed. Since then, there has been a pretty noticeable sense of rivalry between us. Furthermore, Ashley has mentioned previously that he doesn't like how closely we work together and how friendly I am with her. The business trip was both successful and fun. We finished most of our work obligations on the first 2 days of the trip, so we spent most of the third day having some fun and enjoying the city. Justin texted Ashley pretty often, asking what we were up to, which was a bit obnoxious. At some point, I asked her to respond less often, and that did get him to stop asking so many questions. Since we got back, Ashley has been telling me that Justin is acting strange. Yesterday evening, he told her how uncomfortable the trip made him feel. She went on to tell me that it wasn't just a trip, but also how close we think She went on to tell me that it wasn't just the trip, but also how close he thinks we are and how often we text and joke around with each other. I felt annoyed that Justin seemingly wanted to exert some control over my life, so I told Ashley that his concerns and insecurities were not my problem. She said that I was being too unsympathetic towards him and that I needed to be more patient with him. Am I the asshole? Yeah, well, I agree they're not your problem at all. If both of y'all know you're not crossing any lines, then you don't need to worry about how he feels about you. Now for her, she needs to tend to a relationship, and if he's really tweaking over her being around him so much and all this, like maybe she needs to work with him and work a solution out. But as far as you, just a dude that works with her, like I said, as long as y'all ain't crossing any lines, if y'all are canoodling, then that's a whole different subject matter. But if y'all know y'all aren't doing anything wrong, and you actually aren't doing anything wrong, then it's not your problem. It's hers and his. They need to sort out their relationship. Like you said, it's insecurities, and that's not your issue. Am I the asshole for being condescending towards a cafe worker? I, 29-year-old female, met up with a friend of mine, 27-year-old female, at a cafe for lunch today at a new spot we had not tried before. The atmosphere was lovely, and it was so nice to catch up, but after lunch she texted me about an interaction I had and said that it made her uncomfortable, so I'm coming to the internet for judgment. That's always a great idea. The cafe was order at the counter, so I went up and ordered and paid for both my friends and my food and drinks. Everything went the same as about any other cafe, and I went back to our table. A few minutes later, a waitress, female in her 30s, brought over our coffees, and it was clear that she had Down syndrome. This was no issue. I think it is lovely that she is able to find work and is clearly comfortable in the cafe environment. When the waitress set down our coffees, she said to me, "I made these all by myself," and was quite proud in her demeanor. I told her verbatim, "Thank you, they look fantastic, well done." The waitress then walked away, and my friend and I enjoyed the rest of our lunch. It was only after lunch that my friend texted me telling me that I was rude and condescending to the waitress, and she felt ashamed to have gone out with me. I was quite surprised, so I asked what she meant, and she texted back, "You treated her like a child. She did not have Down syndrome. You would not have said, 'well done.' I think this was so rude, and I cannot believe I have a friend who is so discriminatory." I texted back that I had no intention of being condescending, but that the waitress was quite proud of her work, demonstrated by her telling me that she had made the coffees all by herself. I just wanted to congratulate her on her hard work. My friend just sent back, "It isn't your place to congratulate her," and has since blocked me. I spoke to my husband, 30-year-old male, about it, and he says that I did the right thing because I provided encouragement to the waitress, but I'm not so convinced based on my friend's reaction. So, am I the asshole? This is a tough one. I personally don't think you did anything wrong, and I think you had very good intentions, because, like you said, the waitress said I made these all by myself, and all you were trying to do was encourage. And while it may be true what your friend said, that if she didn't have Down syndrome, maybe you wouldn't have said that, I guess that makes sense, but I don't think that changes that you had pure intentions and you were just trying to, do what you thought was right and encourage her. I feel like your friend may have overreacted. I feel like cutting you off and blocking you and everything is a absolutely insane reaction to that. Like, I feel like even if it did make her uncomfortable and she personally thought it wasn't the right thing and thought it was condescending or whatever, I feel like y'all could have had a conversation about your intentions and got to the bottom of it. When it comes to this stuff, I know people have a lot of different opinions on how you should treat them. You should just treat them like normal people. I agree with that, You know, I don't think that you should like treat them like children, because they're not children, they are people. I mean, she kind of was expressing to you that she was proud of making them, and you were just trying to encourage her and make her feel better, and, you know, give what you thought was a good response to her saying, I made these all by myself. So I think you had pure intentions. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you did. So you're not the asshole, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think, man. Am I the asshole for telling my dad and his fiance that they're greedy assholes? My dad is getting married in the winter. He's gonna have a 6-year-old stepdaughter, Luna, when he gets married. And this whole post is about my dad and his fiance thinking my maternal grandparents should give his stepdaughter a gift to wear to the wedding. Mom died 4 years ago, and dad and her were still married, and he still has some contact with her family. Since I moved out last year, it has been less than when I lived there. I'm a 19-year-old female, by the way. So what happened is my grandparents bought me this really sweet locket for my birthday. My dad and his fiance were living together at the time, and they brought me out to dinner to celebrate. Luna was also there and heard her mom ask about my locket and who bought it for me. Luna was suddenly all excited and talking about how they're about to be her grandparents too, and then would they buy her one. My dad said they probably would, and we'd ask them, meaning he and I would. I looked at him like he was crazy, but he ignored me. He did, in fact, ask my grandparents later, and they said no. They even asked him why they would buy her something. They have no relationship with her and would likely only see her on very rare occasions. He was pissy at them for their response, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. So my grandparents helped me and my friends move into an apartment together over the summer. They also helped us get set up with some stuff. This bothered my dad's fiance a lot because they are yet to meet her or Luna and made no effort to do anything for Luna's birthday. So she and my dad told them that they would be invited to the wedding, which they must accept, and they must give Luna something sweet before the wedding as a symbol of her being adopted as a grandchild by them. Now again, these are my mom's parents, not my dad's. My grandparents told them it would not be happening. Fast forward on, and my dad and his fiance have complained about it constantly. My grandparents gave me a heads up that the drama was going down over their refusal. My dad and his fiance said I should talk to my grandparents and tell them to knock it off and treat my sister better than they are. I told them they shouldn't be such greedy assholes, and that I am not gonna ask my grandparents that. I told them Luna isn't my sister, and even if she was, it would not obligate my grandparents to do anything for her unless they were my dad's parents. We got into an argument over me calling them greedy assholes. They were offended and told me I was a dick to say that about Luna too. Am I the asshole? Woo! This is a tough one. Family drama, man. I agree with you. They're not related. It shouldn't just be that they have to give her something. I don't like the insinuation here said they would be invited to the wedding, which they must accept, and they must give Luna something sweet. No, they don't. They don't even know this little girl. They aren't even related to your dad. Like, I mean, it really comes down to the relationship that the dad had with, you know, his late wife's parents, and it depends on what the dynamic is. It really could differ from situation to situation, in my opinion. But I feel like complaining about it and nagging them to get something, like, even if they did break and get something for Luna, it's not a genuine, like, oh, here's a gift out of love. Like, I don't think I'd want that gift, or I wouldn't want that gift given to my stepdaughter, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really holds no weight. They were forced into it, so it's just kind of like a, okay, stop nagging me here, take this freaking necklace. Like, it doesn't really, you lose the sentimental part of it. The biggest part in giving gifts is the sentimental, like, what it means to you and what it means to the person you're giving it to. It's not just about, oh, that's a nice locket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about that. So a little kid, that might be hard to see. To the dad and his fiance, like, y'all are grown people. Like, y'all should know, like, it's not a genuine, like, here you go, you know, we're happy to have you in the family. Like, they're not even really related to her. They don't really know her. They barely talk to you from what, you know what I'm saying? It said he still has some contact with her family. It's not like they're, you know, locked in. Like, they're kind of distant, it seems. That's what I'm picking up from this. So it doesn't make sense that they'd have to get her a gift. I don't think you're the asshole. I think they needed to be put in their place a little bit. Now, greedy assholes, yes, that's gonna offend people when you call them that, but it is weird. They are acting real weird, and they're acting like she's entitled. Luna is entitled to that gift. They're acting like they're entitled to. It just seems like a lot of entitlement to me. I'm not gonna lie. So no, you are not the asshole. Rest easy.